One question has nagged the creation-evolution debate for decades. One question has the potential to radically transform 40 years of conflict over Genesis and evolution. The answer to this one question is nothing short of revolutionary. This video is short, but it packs a powerful punch and gains back miles of ground in the creation-evolution war. The Pew Forum survey shows that 98% of all scientists and 99% of PhDs hold to evolution. They reject the idea that God created the universe, life, Adam and Eve, in 6 ordinary days about 6,000 years ago. They reject a global flood about 4,500 years ago. They reject the existence of a literal Noah and a literal ark in which land-dependent, air-breathing life was saved from death by drowning. Why? When journalists ask me this question, they hope I pick one of 2 bad options. They hope that I either reject science itself or invoke some sort of vast, nefarious, hidden conspiracy to suppress the truth. They don't care about Romans 1, they just want creationists to look silly to the watching world. I just found a third option. In the summer of 2024, I was preparing a lecture for a group of Brazilian Christian educators. I don't remember what prompted me, but I decided to run some numbers on university enrollment. Specifically, I wanted to know enrollment in creation-friendly universities versus enrollment in evolution-only universities. For creation-friendly universities, Answers in Genesis has published a list. It's not long. I took the Answers in Genesis list and then added a few more schools where students might hear something other than evolution. It still wasn't a long list. Then I searched the National Center for Education Statistics for numbers for each of these schools. Then I used the same database to get total nationwide enrollment figures. The result? The total number of undergraduates who are exposed to something other than evolution is only around 1%. 99% of college undergraduates are taught only evolution. 99% of PhDs hold to evolution. It's a perfect match. In scientific or statistical terms, enrollment perfectly predicts the views of PhDs on evolution. In other words, 99% of PhDs are evolutionists because this is all they're ever taught. Do you find yourself bristling at my conclusion? Maybe you think, that can't be true. PhDs are independent thinkers. They come to conclusions on their own via reason and experimentation. They can't be evolutionists simply because they were raised that way. They're too smart for that. Want to guess who else agrees with me? It's the last group that you'd ever suspect. In January of 1982, District Judge Overton ruled on McLean versus Arkansas Board of Education. At stake was a 1981 act entitled the Balanced Treatment for Creation Science and Evolution Science Act. The act stated in its first sentence, public schools within the state shall give balanced treatment to creation science and to evolution science. Judge Overton overturned the law. In 1987, the United States Supreme Court ruled on a Louisiana law in Edwards versus Aguillard. At stake, Louisiana's Creationism Act forbids the teaching of the theory of evolution in public elementary and secondary schools unless accompanied by instruction in the theory of creation science. The Supreme Court overturned the law. Did you notice what these 2 laws had in common? Neither removed the teaching of evolution from the public schools. They simply required the teaching of creation alongside it. In other words, evolutionists did not fight to put evolution back into public schools. Instead, evolutionists fought tooth and nail to keep creation science out. Why? What was so threatening to evolution that any challengers must be kept out of the classroom? Why not let the laws stand? Surely students would have seen the evidence for evolution, observed its scientific superiority to every other origin's position, and walked away convinced that evolution was true and that creation science was false. Why work so hard to keep creation science out? The answer is simple. Evolutionists must believe that scientists become evolutionists if that's what they're taught. I see no other explanation for the evolutionists' behavior. Evolutionists must believe with all their heart that students adopt the position that they're taught. In short, there's a simple explanation for why 99% of scientists reject my young Earth creation position in favor of evolution. It's because evolution is all they're ever taught.